The Addams Family Revenge. I work in a movie theater and I'm currently on break. My job is to check tickets, give menus and time for when people can sit. With all the movies out right now and a birthday party, I am slightly more busier. Plus I am in between Millennial and Gen Z, or as I like to call it, Z Millennial. The way I respond is different. As the cashier queue is increasing with large parties and people who have already brought their tickets come to me. This wonderful family comes up to me. I say they're a little early for TAF and that they're welcome to sit in the dining per bar area or seats down the steps. They say thank you and I say no problem. The mom turns around and says you're supposed to say you're welcome. I said no problem means the same thing. She gave me a look and said, I'm trying to teach my kids manners, so say you're welcome. I am looking at her, looking at me, looking at her, and she's expecting me to say it. Pause. Remember how I said there was a birthday party going on? Well, it was a kid's birthday party. Remember how I said the Addams family had to wait a little bit? There were still families coming in along with the waiting kids. By now, if you hadn't already guessed, those of you with kids know exactly what I did. Resume. I said you're welcome in the tune from Moana, which started a domino effect until they got seated. She glared at me as if she wanted to speak with my manager and I waved bye to her kids smiling. Be careful what you wish for. Berate speechless toddler? This lies for you. One of my kids was an extremely late talker. We have never known why, as she was evaluated several times and determined to be normal, just not talking yet. When she was 3, we were at a big box store that gives out samples and normally provides excellent customer service. However, the people who give out the samples work for another company, not the store. We both stepped up to receive a yummy treat, and as I always did since my little one could not talk, I said a loud thank you, and walked off. The sample lady apparently did not take kindly to my toddler not mailing her an elaborate thank you note on expensive stationery with a wax seal of our family crest, because she leaned down into my little girl's face and boomed sarcastically, "You're welcome." My daughter, not being used to anyone speaking to her this way, showed no reaction as I think she was totally puzzled by it, which worked perfectly for the evil plan that hatched into my usually moral brain. I turned back and, with a sweet tone and apologetic smile, replied, "Oh, I'm sorry she's deaf." Yes, that was so wrong of me, I know it. But was it petty? Yes. And was it revenge? Yes. I hope that cracker-doling harpy thinks twice before she scolds innocent kiddos without knowing anything about them. I guess I got the ultimate revenge, too, because my daughter is now a teen and never stops talking. Roommate is frequently rude, loud, lets her cat ish on the floor. I set a schedule on the router to shut her internet off in random intervals. So in college I lived with a house of 6 people. One of my roommates was particularly terrible. Despite having a nice outdoor covered porch, she frequently smoked in the house, despite us all politely asking her to do so outside. She also frequently turned on very loud music around 1 a.m. on weekdays, despite us politely asking her not to. I had also informed all the roommates that I had a pretty serious cat allergy. Despite this, she brought home a cat, which completely ruined my personal couch. She also didn't take care of the poor thing. He never had food, water, and his litter box was never cleaned, which resulted in him pooping on the floor, and she wouldn't clean that up either. She was also leaving beer cans everywhere, being generally terrible in that sense as well. Roommates would politely try to ask her not to do these things and she would literally laugh and say she didn't give a ish how her behavior affected us. A lot of people don't realize how easy it is to get into the settings on a router. Typically login credentials are standardly username, admin, password, admin, but you can Google this info for whatever brand router you have. I got into the router, changed the password to something only I knew. I then used the process of elimination to figure out which devices were hers. I first prioritized the speeds for everyone else. I then set a random schedule that shut off Wi-Fi for her exclusively. I then got the sweet satisfaction of her asking in the GroupMe constantly if anyone else was having connectivity problems. And on occasion if she kept me up late at night rolling on her desk chair. She was very heavy and an avid gamer, so this was quite loud. I would just shut the internet off to her PC. She'd get bored and frustrated and just go to bed for the night. She was constantly resetting the router for a signal she would never get. Thanks for watching and don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a good one.